My name is Matt. I was a teacher this past summer and a few summers before that at Queen's University of Charlotte's Chinese Startalk program. Yes, that's fine. So I'm a Chinese teacher. I'm also a Spanish teacher, but that's a story for another day. Tomorrow morning, you can come listen to my life story. And what I'm here to talk about is language, content, and culture, which, as many of us know, is a Startalk Principle. And this is how I got you in the door. Some of you came to be nice to me because you know me and you like me, and I appreciate that. And the rest of you who don't know anything about me maybe came because you read my sales pitch. So if you're interested in hands-on cultural activities that are full of target language use, you want to have your students doing things, not just watching things, that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, it is really important to me that all of you understand that I'm not an expert at anything. I'm okay at Chinese. I'm pretty good at Spanish, but I'm only 23 and I just started my master's in second language acquisition. So I don't profess to be this guru that's here to enlighten you and tell you how you should do things. Instead, what I'm going to do today is share with you how I did things this past summer. And my site visitors liked it, which is why I'm here telling you about it. So hopefully you get something from my sharing and our exploring. This is going to be very interactive, so I hope you left your shyness and your pride at the door, because that's what I tell my students to do. Let's get started. So you are here, as I've said 3 times already, because you're interested in culture, content, and language. And this is a Startalk Principle, and that's what I'm interested in too. So what I would like you to be able to do by the end of this session, just like we give all of our students targets that we want them to be able to walk out of a room and say, what I learned from Matt is, number 1, I want you to be able to discuss and categorize the language, the content, and the cultural elements of a learner-centered lesson. You might have guessed by the markers and nifty colored papers and the fact that I made you write name tags. If you haven't done that, please use the green cardstock to write a name tag that's big enough that I can see it. I can see most of them. You might have gathered from all of the evidence placed before you that I am going to ask you to participate in a demo lesson with me. I'm going to teach you Chinese if you don't already know Chinese. And if you already know Chinese, you're going to be employed as my teacher's assistant. I don't have any money to pay you, but I will be grateful to you forever. So, number 1. Number 2, you will be able to brainstorm possible language structures and content areas when I give you a cultural product, a practice, or a perspective. And finally, you will be able to identify a cultural product, practice, or perspective relevant to the language or languages that you teach, and you will be able to list language and cultural content, or language and content, rather, related to that cultural element. So these are the 3 things that I hope you gain from our experience together, and we'll see. We'll come back to these a couple times throughout the session. So, first things first. I stole this quote, if I'm being honest. I'm in grad school and we have to cite our sources. I stole this quote from a Helena Curtin presentation that was at a Startalk conference 3 years ago. I watched the video on the Startalk website. You should watch those videos too. But the quote goes, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn." It's a quote by Benjamin Franklin that Helena Curtin used before I did. And I think this is what Startalk does. The whole point of everything that we endeavor to do as teachers, as language teachers, is not teach our students things that they can go tell people. Did you know Chinese has 4 tones? Who cares? We teach them, we involve them in every single lesson that we do, and they learn, and then they go use the 4 tones in Chinese to communicate with real people in the world, not just know that that's a fact, right? So I'm going to involve you. I'm going to call you by name, and I might make you feel slightly uncomfortable, but as you know from your own language teaching experience, we learn in our uncomfortability, right? So we're not going to be in our comfort zone very much today, and I'm not in my comfort zone because I will confess to you right now, so that you don't hold it against me later, that this is the first conference presentation I have ever given in my entire life. So you're new to Chinese and I'm new to conferences, so we got this. We'll do this together. All right, so how exactly do you teach language and content through culture? Those of you who speak Chinese already knows what this says, 眼见为实, and what that means for those of you for whom this input is not comprehensible is seeing is believing. So instead of telling you first how you do Chinese or how you do language, content, and culture, I'm going to show you, I hope. So, the first part of our gradual release of responsibility model of this 1-hour focus session is an I do and a we do. And we means me and all of you. If you're sitting close to the back, I don't really have any space in the front anymore, which is okay. You might not be able to color with us, and I'm sorry in advance because I don't have any more markers and papers for you to color, but you can participate in spirit. And I'll pay attention to you too. Don't worry, you won't be left out. So we're gonna do a demo lesson. And when I do demo lessons, or when I teach, where's my flag? I have a flag, and I normally hang it up in my classroom, and I can't find, here it is. And it has on this side, it has the United States, and it says, in Chinese, it says, we speak English. And on this side, it's a flag of China, and it says, we speak Chinese. So normally, I would hang this up on the wall somewhere, and you would see that we're about to, you would see the switch, you would feel it. We would jump into it together. I don't have a place to hang it up, but I trust that you language teachers can bear with me, can jump into this Chinese world with me. So, I'm going to confess a couple things to you today, and this is confession. I think we're on number 3, and I've only been talking for 5 minutes. Confession number 3. For all of you who are Chinese teachers and do cultural things and know things that I don't know, I'm not an expert. Not at language acquisition, not at Startalk, not at Chinese, and definitely not at all of these Chinese cultural things that I'm about to show you. I'm not an expert. I don't have a degree in them. I'm not a Beijing opera singer. But that's okay. Because you don't have to be an expert at every aspect of the culture that you are a part of or that you learn to be a part of if you're a second language learner like I am, to do culturally rich activities in your language classroom, right? So that's not a barrier, and I've heard from teachers, but I'm not a Beijing opera singer, I don't know how to teach that stuff. You know where I found that information? Baidu, okay? Which is like Google, but the Chinese version. So, are you ready? Are you ready for this? In Chinese, this means yes, and this means no. So are you ready to do a demo lesson with me? Yes. Okay, there's some English there, but that's fine, it's fine, don't worry. So what our I can statements are for our demo lesson are the following. Number 1, I can praise the people sitting next to me using memorized words and phrases. What proficiency level does that sound like we're going to be working at today? Novice, very low. And if you're a Chinese teacher, you can help me with the novice very lows around you, right? That's why I said don't sit with your Chinese teaching friends. Number 2, we are going to match the names of colors on my paper to the correct color when I hear the name out loud. On your table in front of you, you should have a handout that looks like this. It has black words all the way down the middle and splotches of color all over it. If you don't have one, I trust that you can make a friend and share. But if you do have one, not that one, that one. There's 2 handouts on your table. One of them looks like this, and one of them has a table at the bottom of it. We're going to ignore the table at the bottom for a minute. I need the one that has words in the middle. If you don't have it, you can share with someone, because I only made enough. I didn't think, oh, I have more. If you don't have it, I have more. 张老师, I have more. Thank you, Natalie. Merci. Okay, so I can statement number 1 is you can praise people, and we'll work on that. I can statement number 2 is you can match the names of colors on your paper to the correct color when we do it out loud. And I can statement number 3 is I can listen and understand the description of a mask and color it according to what I hear. So you will also notice on your table in front of you that you have very little. They're very little because we're not artists. I'm not an artist. We're not going to be coloring all day. You have very little masks, and you have very little markers. You will use your very little markers to color your very little mask. You see, I came prepared. I have Ziploc bags with all my stuff. I'm like, I got this. I even brought an extension cord up here in case my laptop charger wasn't long enough. I'm ready. So, do we think we can do this? Yeah. This means yes in Chinese. This means no in Chinese. Do we think we can do this? Yeah. Okay. So, English. 中文。来吧，我们说说中文啊。第一，你好。你好。好，看你的，看，你好，你好。你好，哎，你好，哎，非常好。Rose， 你好，哎 ，Laura， 你好，张老师，你好，你好，哎，朱老师，你好，哎，不错，你好，很好。来，我们看哈，我们，哎，在哪儿呢？我们看哈，看，然后呢，我们来听。看他，看那边看哈，然后听 听哈，对，要听要看啊。我们来看看啊，稍等，嘿，我们来看，我们来听，看什么呀？听什么？看啊，看，听，看。好听哈，哇，我们看哈，下面来，你看，跟我说京，来说京，京哈，北京，对不对？北京，京，京，剧，啊，不错，京，剧，哎，很好，北京，京。对不对？京哈，剧，剧，剧，对不对？京剧啊，我们今天来看、听京剧，好不好？好，不好？好，不好？你好，哦，你好，哦，好，不好？不好，对呀，不好，来哈，哇，你看，京剧，我的脸谱在哪里哈？看看，京剧哈，对不对？你看啊，京剧里面它有，这边有蓝色，你看，蓝色。蓝色啊，很好。你看这里，它有红，不对，红色。你看蓝色，红色，对不对？你看它有，哇，有很多啊，红色、蓝色、黄色，哇，很多的颜色啊。我们来看，是不是？来跟我说说，来说红色，红色，看你的 handout 上，红色，看 handout 啊，来给我看红色，红色，看你的 handout 红色，红色，不。红色，不，红色是啊，是好，对不对？好，红色，很好。来说说红色，看红色，非常好。你看看，红色，不，红色，不，红色。是啊，哇，很好，好，看，好，你们说，你们好，你跟他说好啊，你跟他说好，你们非常好啊，很好。什么？红色哈，你的 handout 呢 ？handout 红色。举来 handout 在哪里？红色，哇，很好，太好了，很好，好，非常好。你看啊，红色，不，红色，对不对？是啊，红色，非常好。好，下面我们来看 蓝色，蓝色，色，哎，对呀，蓝色，蓝色，不，蓝色，蓝色，是啊，红色，不，红色，哦，是啊，红色非常好。Handout， 你的 Handout 在哪里 ？Handout 上面，这个是红色，这个是蓝色，不，这个是蓝色，非常好，你可以连起来啊，非常好，很好，很好。下面我们来看这个1、2、3，这个是黑色，黑色，非常好，黑色，啊，很好，黑色，不，蓝色，不，红色，不，黑色，不，黑色，啊，是啊。蓝色，哦，不是 ，OK， 我来看哈，黑色，黑色，不，这是什么？蓝色，非常好，跟你的桌子说好，好，非常好，非常好，哇！好，好，非常好，好，非常好，太棒了，好，太好了啊，很好，来看看，这个是黑色，黑色，不，红色，对不对？红色，啊，你的 handout 呢？我们来看看 handout 好了。这个是黑色，是不是？不，这个是黑色，是啊。你的 markers， 你那儿桌子上有 markers， 黑色在哪里？黑色的 marker 有没有？黑色的 marker， 哎，很好，好，非常好，很好。哎，张老师，好，黑色的 marker， 黑色，太棒了，他懂黑色哈，他的衣服是黑色的，好，好，下面我们来看看。哎，我有办法，你看看，红色加蓝色等于紫色，就像一个蜜蜂，滋滋，对不对？滋，但是你看哈，紫色。色，对不对？帅，色，很好。来来，哎，哇哦，很好，看这里，来跳哈，哇，这个蓝色有没有？蓝色没有。蓝色没有，黑色有，是对，是啊，黑色，你看黑色，黑色啊，黑色有没有？有，对不对？黑色有没有？黑色，红色，哇哦，棒！红色来说非常好，啊。这个蓝色有没有？没有蓝色，对不对？没有蓝色，没有。当当当当，蓝色啊，看不见。蓝色有没有？有没有？有蓝色啊，很好，很好。我看看，黑色。是不是黑色？没有，不， 不，黑色，不，红色，是啊，红色，不是啊，非常好。这里边我们看看，红色有，蓝色有，蓝色，哇哦，蓝色你们都知道了。黑色啊，有，对不对？黄色有没有？没有黄色，对不对？没有黄色，黄色我不喜欢黄色，高老师，黄色，这里边有没有橙色？有没有？没有橙色，对不对？没有，非常好。下面跟你的 table 说，跟你的 table partner 你的朋友说，有没有蓝色、红色、黑色？跟你的 table partner 说，我的这个 mask 有没有？有没有哈？对呀，中文老师不许说哈，中文老师不许讲。我来听听。好，3、2、1，3、2、1，哇，不错，还不错哈。来看看最后一个，不对，紫色没有哈，我来叫一个人，这个。我来看看 ，Kathy， Kathy， 橙色有没有？没有橙色。你看 Kathy 很肯定没有，非常好。我再找一个人，Anna， 我知道你 Anna，紫色有紫色吗？没有，对不对？没有啊。Anna 说没有紫色，很好，后面我叫一个，Roseanne 在喝，Roseanne 我不叫 Roseanne，Laura， 黄色有没有？没有，Laura 说没有黄色，对不对 ？Laura 很聪明 ，Laura 是个 expert，Matt 不是 expert，Laura 是个 expert， 对不对 ？Laura 知道。Laura 我再问你一个，有没有黄色？有，对不对？有，太好了，很好。OK。同学们啊，我们来听，然后呢，我们来画，黄色、橙色，我们来听，然后用你的 marker 来画，对不对？有一张很小的，我看看你们的那个，我能借一下吗？这个，同学们把这个举起来，有没有？这个有没有？有，你有这个哈，有没有？后面有，都有，非常好。来听，然后画，好不好？好不好？好，我们来听啊，这个是谁粘的哈？好，来吧，他的鼻子是蓝色的，鼻子蓝色。鼻子蓝色哈，蓝色不，蓝色不，蓝色是，他的鼻子是蓝色的，蓝色。来啊。他的眼睛是红色的，他的眼睛是红色的啊，红色不，紫色，对不对？紫色啊，红色在哪儿呢？红色是哈，他的眼睛。是红色的啊，红色的眼睛。 最后一个啊，他的头是黑色的，他的头是黑色的，黑色的头啊，黑色的头，黑色不，黑色不，黑色是黑色，对不对呀？黑色就像黑 rose 黑色，对不对啊？黑啊，非常好，黑啊，好，再来一个，最后一个，我看看啊，他的嘴巴是紫色的，紫色，对不对？紫色，这个是紫色吗？紫色，那个谁，Kathy， 紫色，不，你看 Kathy 非常好 ，Kathy， 紫色，不 ，Anna， 紫色，是哈，紫色啊，非常好，他的头是黑色，哦，对呀，他的头是黑色的，中文老师不许讲。把我这个都全部给弄错啊！他的鼻子是什么颜色的？鼻子，什么？蓝色，非常好。他的嘴，中文老师别讲，嘴，紫色啊！你看，蓝色，紫色，非常好，非常好，耶 ！OK， 现在我看看啊，我的那个旗子在哪儿呢？不见了呀！没关系 ，OK。现在你看看，我们说再见，拜拜，拜拜。我们说拜拜 ，Hello， 不错。OK，back to English。Okay, let's look a little bit. These are the same I can statements I gave you 20 minutes ago. They're exactly the same because I copied and pasted the slide, so I know they're the same. Can you praise the person sitting next to you in Chinese? Prove it. How? Can I get an example? Let's see. I need a volunteer who can prove to me that you can do my I can statement. Show me. Did you hear that? She said 非常好. Wow! 谢谢. Next one. Can you match the names of the colors on your paper to the colors that I say? Can you or can you not? Prove it. Prove it. I don't believe you people. My parents are lawyers, so I need proof for all of this. I can do it, 高老师. Don't worry, I can do it. Prove it. There we go. I see those. 你喜欢红色? Yeah. You heard that? That was novice high. You heard that? 我喜欢红色 novice high. Sentence level. I did that in 20 minutes, okay? Anyway, last one. I can listen and understand the description of a mask and color it according. That shouldn't say based according. It should say according to or based on. But my English isn't that good, okay? Based on what I hear, I can color a mask. Did you do it? Prove it. Does your mask look like your neighbor's mask? Because that might be problematic if, it doesn't. If it does, congratulations, you have graduated the School of Chinese of Math's 60-minute focus session. So, but we're not done yet. I still get 23 minutes with you lovely people. And what we're going to do in those 23 minutes is a lot, so I'm going to go fast. First thing, this is called a nonverbal rapid-fire reflection. Reflection is important in everything that we do, right? On every single lesson plan, guess what? For that demo lesson, I wrote a Startalk learning plan. I really did. I really wrote it last night and printed it in the hotel lobby. Startalk learning plan. And you know what it says at the bottom of the lesson on the very last page? Personal reflection. So what you're going to help me do right now, and granted, because we wasted 7 minutes at the beginning of this with our best friend technology, I only taught you 4 of the colors. I was going to teach you 6, but it's fine. We figured it out. But reflection is important, right? As a teacher, you do a lesson, and it's not done there. At least I do this. I think everyone should do it. But you go home and you think, what went well? What did they absolutely not get? Everybody left my room and looked at me and said, 非常好. So they got that. But they still don't know how to say purple, so I might need to revisit that tomorrow, right? So we're going to do a very quick reflection, bearing in mind that that was only the input phase of the lesson, and that was only a third of it, if that. When I taught this lesson for real, I taught, and you'll see, I'll show you a screenshot from my learning plan. But I taught facial features, numbers, and colors to novice 0 learners. Their exit ticket to leave my classroom was they had to tell me 2 things. One, they colored a mask at my directions, and then I gave them 3 minutes to color their own mask, and they had to tell their table, his eyes are blue, his face is green, whatever. They had 6 colors and 5 facial features, and they told their table. They had to share their mask with me upon leaving the room. I had 22 kids in this class, and then they had to tell me one thing about their own face. I didn't care what it was, but they had to say, my eyes are blue, and I said, yes, I can see that. I'm not really a fan of the whole, what are you wearing today? I'm wearing a green shirt. I hate those activities. I hate them. I hate them because I can see you. I don't need your, assistance in that. But it is important that they apply the Beijing opera mask that they might never ever use again. You know what I don't listen to in my free time? Beijing opera. But you know what the mask did do for me? It gave my novices colors, numbers, and it gave them facial features in a culturally rich context. Because Beijing opera singers paint these colors on their face. Every single color means something, and that's what I did with my intermediate kids. What do these colors mean in the US, and what do they mean in China, right? They mean something, and they're real facial features. And if you only have one ear, guess what? You can only paint one ear, right? But we did it novice level, right? So they applied it to their real life. They can say, my mom's eyes are blue. I've never seen their mom. I can see their eyes, but I can't see their mom's eyes, right? We can expand from here. So nonverbal, which means don't talk. All you're going to do is tell me in Chinese, which looks like this or like this, if you saw what I'm asking you about. So in my lesson, did you see I do? It's okay. You don't have to lie. My feelings won't get hurt. I'm reflecting on my practice, right? I do. Did you see? No. Maybe. I don't know. Did you see we do? Did you see you do? Sorry, I forgot to hit the button. Did you see a mode or more than one mode of communication in our 20 minutes of Chinese together? I hope. Did you see culture? It's a loaded word. It's a buzzword, right? Did you see something cultural? I hope so. Did you learn something, some kind of content? Right? I hope so. Did you use language? 是, I heard it. She said it, 是. Confidence in Chinese. I can run the world. 20 minutes, I can do this. I can run the world in an hour. No problem. So this is from my learning plan. This is from my Novice 0 learning plan. And what I had them learn, their cultural stuff, was Beijing opera masks. And if you notice on the second handout that I didn't have time to do, which would have been a you-do activity, what I was going to have you do originally was play quiz trade. But there's a lot of you, and there's a lot of chairs and tables, so I decided that's probably a bad idea. So my second plan was, the fly swatter game, where there's the thing on the board and you say something and they hit it. This is the fly swatter game, but in mini version. You do it in partners. I say a thing and you slap it with your hand, and you keep score down here at the bottom. If you notice, these aren't American tally marks. This is a Chinese tally mark. So there's cultural, there's big things, and there's little things, right? We can do all the time. So their big culture was Beijing opera mask. That was a little piece of hidden culture. They learned about colors, and they learned about facial features. And my students actually learned about math, because we talked about one color plus one color equals whatever other color, which is math in colors, in culture, in Chinese, which is fun, right? They learned how to say these couple colors. I realized they needed white eventually, because they said, you didn't say what color his cheek was. And I said, his cheek is white. Leave it alone. Or yes, color it. I didn't have time, right? They had is and is not, or yes and no, and they had does have and does not have, which you had. And if you're an astute language learner, you were probably wondering, what is this 是不是? What is this 有没有? What's the difference here? What are you talking about? It's fine. You did it, and you did what I needed you to do, so we didn't have to go there. And the differentiation up was that my students, instead of saying 红色, they were saying 他的眼睛是红色的. They were giving me a sentence, right? So, and I differentiated this. I mentioned this again, but I'll go very quickly. For my novice highs and intermediate lows, we learned the word positive and negative connotation. And I asked them, does this color have a positive or a negative connotation in the United States. I showed them US, color, how, 不好, right? That's all they needed, novice language. And they said some crazy stuff. One of them was like, I asked them about green. They said 不好. They said 负面, which is Chinese negative, right? And I said, why? They don't have the language to do this. But one of them went, and I said, oh. But to me, I said, 好, 钱, 我喜欢钱. And then the other one said, no, it means envy. That was for a middle schooler, that was a pretty good thought, you know, right? And then we looked at what's the difference. Does this thing mean, is this a positive color in the United States? Is this a positive color specifically in Beijing opera? Because in Beijing opera, these colors have personality and behavior trait meanings. Red means a certain thing. It means you act a certain way. So with a Beijing opera performer, an astute audience member can look and go, this is an evil character, just by what their face looks like, right? But we did it in very simple words at people that novice high could understand. Instead of saying he was violent, I said he likes to hit people. And they said, oh, I said, like me, say English, da. And then they were like, oh. Yeah, so they painted my face and they said it was going to be red because Galosher likes to hit people, but whatever. And then what they did is they drew a Beijing opera mask for their best friend and they introduced their best friend's personality to their group. They said, my best friend's eyes are blue because blue means smart. My best friend is smart, right? Those are intermediate low. My best friend is smart. Her eyes are blue. They're sentences, but they're easy sentences, right? And to go even higher, because we had students in this program from an immersion school, so they needed to be up here working hard, we talked about what colors represent, and they were, instead of positive and negative, they were giving me words. You know what they told me blue represents? Heartbreak in Chinese. I was like, whoa. That was deep. We had a moment right there, right? So we talked about what do these words mean, and they argued with each other. It was a you do. I said, what does blue mean? One said heartbreak. The other one said sadness. The other one said the sky. One said water. And they're arguing about it in Chinese. They're like, what do you know? You don't know anything. In Chinese, though, so it was fine. And then what they did is they colored masks for their entire family. They explained their family's personality traits, but they had to give me reasons why. They said, my dad is mean, so his face is this color, and he's mean because last night I wanted to go to the mall with my boyfriend, and he said no. Intermediate level language, right? And they had to ask each other questions. If they said, my dad's eyes are green because he's mean, you know what my Chinese intermediate kids love to say? You know what their favorite follow-up question is? Why? All I say is why. And then the other kid is, you know, throw the ball right back to the other person, and then they have to go, because, right? This is not an easy thing to do. I'm not going to lie to you. It takes, you know, culture and language and content, that's a lot of stuff to fit into one learning plan. And if you have to write 20, 30 learning plans for, you know, a Startalk program, or you have to write one every day for 180 days of your life, this is a lot to think about, right? So it's important that we recognize and we talk for 1 minute about what some of the challenges that I faced this summer were. The first one was, what do you do if you expect them to be doing this and they're not doing it? And they could be not doing it for two reasons, right? It might be that they're blowing your expectations out of the water, which we like, but still have to in the moment deal with, right? Or it might be that they're not getting it at all. You've said yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, and they look at you and go, communication achieved. Novice high, I don't think so, right? So what do? I stole this from Rose, and she's sitting in the very back, and her clothes are zi. I stole it from her. But we have it in our learning plans, right? We have a section on every learning episode that says, what are you going to do to differentiate? And I'm going to give you really simple solutions to these two challenges that I faced. But I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? These solutions worked, at least they worked for me. So what I do is I write myself 2 lines, and I have this saved as my learning plan template. When I open it on my computer, it just says, if the students are performing at a lower than expected proficiency, ... And then blah, 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 higher proficiency, ... And that's saved in my learning plan template. When I go to open a new one, it's already there. Because then at least I thought about it. At least I was ready to say, if I expect them to be novice high and they're performing like an intermediate low or higher, I at least thought about if they said a sentence, what am I going to do next? Because otherwise what you do is you get that middle range of kids, but you don't deal with the ones down here, and you definitely don't challenge the ones up here. And that's the whole point, right, is that everybody's growing together. So that's the strategy that I use. It's not magnificent. Again, I'm not a guru. I'm not going to change your whole life. But if you think about it for every activity that you do, if I ask you what color is his face, and you go, then I remind myself in my planning that I should be able to go, is it red or is it blue? And then you kind of go, and I'm like, red, blue, and you go, blue, and I'm like, yes, you did it. We communicated, right? And what if you run out of time? Let me tell you that this is the bane of my existence as a teacher. I run out of time every single time, literally every time. Nothing, I'm going to run out of time today. It's fine, though. So what do? Again, not miraculous solutions, but I have two. One is I plan ahead. In my learning plan, very large and very highlighted, if I'm going to start teaching at 12 o'clock and I know I want my input to be done in 15-ish minutes, it says 12:45 in real big, bold numbers in my learning plan so that I'm looking at it when my students are doing, and after I inspect it, I come back and go, am I on time? I can check at every point, right? That's the first thing that I do. The other thing that I do is I have an enormous timer. And it makes a really loud noise for me. It's not for them, it's for me. So I get here and look, I have 70 minutes, I'm at minute 42. I'm like, might have to cut something. And what do you cut? I learned this from Thomas. You might know Thomas. Thomas is great. And what he told me is you never cut the we do. Because that's what a lot of teachers do, is they give the input and they think, well, okay, you have your input, now go. And guess what? If I was holding you in the pool, and then I take you out and drop you in the deep end, you might die. And that's not the goal, right? The goal is if I'm holding you, if I'm gonna leave you, I'm gonna leave you with floaties, right? And you're at least gonna sit there. You might not swim, but you're not gonna die. And then I start kicking you towards the deep end, slowly, slowly, and then you get there, and you're still floating, right? So don't cut out the we do. In this focus session, I have an I do, a we do, and a you do. We're gonna do the we do right now, and we might not get to the you do, but that's okay, because I'm gonna give you homework. And you'll see what that means. So the you do can come tomorrow. It can come next week. It can come the next time you see your kids. But if you do the I do, and then you jump to the you do, they're not going to do anything. So you might as well have not done it, right? You wasted all of your time. You could have done the we do and built that foundation, and then you do the you do the next day, and they'll surprise you, or sometimes, right? And what do participants gain from this? Again, cite my sources. I got this from the Startalk website, from the PDF about culture, content, and language. What people gain is this nifty thing that uses a lot of WH question words, is they gain the ability to communicate meaningfully. They know how to say something, language, right? They know when to say something, culture. They know why to say something, again, culture. They know what to say, which is language and content, and they know who they say it to, which is culture, right? You see how it's there in all of those WH questions. They're loaded with all three of these things. And communication in the real world outside the vacuum of your classroom doesn't work without all three. If you walk into a job interview in your second language, in English even, if you go, what up? Guess who's not getting the job? You said hello, right? You said something. You just said it to the wrong person at the wrong time, right? Culture and language and content come together for communication to happen well. Communication can happen, but for it to happen well, I think you need all three. So let's look at our session outcomes again. We discussed and we categorized. We looked at the language and content in a learner-centered lesson. That was our lesson. Where we're going from here in my last not even 15 minutes, 10 minutes, is we're going to brainstorm language structures and content areas. I'm going to give you a cultural product right here in 2 seconds. Not a real one, a slide one. And you're going to brainstorm with your new friends at your table. And then you're going to identify a cultural product, practice, or perspective relevant to your language. You see, I did it. We're going to do it. Then you're going to do it. You might not get to it, but then you'll have homework, which is fun. So we're going to talk about tea. Tea is my favorite thing in the world. I brought a water boiler from not from North Carolina, I live in Washington, D.C. now, from D.C. in my suitcase, and I bought a can of Chinese tea for myself in my room. Rose and I just drank it before I came to this session. It's right here. I love tea. Tea's my fave. And the cool thing about tea is tea exists in cultures all over the world. But I put an asterisk up here because tea might not be the warm beverage of choice in the language or culture that you deal with, and that's okay. What I'm going to ask that you do, and I'm only going to give you 2 minutes, and I know that's not a lot of time, but I'm going to give you 2 minutes to just think very briefly with the person or people sitting next to you, depending on how friendly you're feeling. At the novice proficiency level, what culture do we get from tea? What is culture as it is associated to tea? What products, what practices, and what perspectives come from tea in or whatever hot beverage you choose? So products, practices, perspectives. You see? The 3 Ps. What content can you teach in a novice language class that has to do with tea? And what language would you be able to give them through the product, practice, and perspective of drinking tea? Talk to your people for 90 seconds. Okay. I hate to break up your beautiful conversations with your new friends, but I only have 5 more minutes. So, hello, ni hao, right? Back to me. I want you to share with me, but I really want to get to the last couple things we're going to do. So I'm going to show you what I did with Chinese tea, and what you can do in your mind or with your partner is you can think, am I crazy? Is Matt crazy? Or are we like, do we have a little bit of common ground, right? I think I'm crazy, but that's a separate issue, right? So my product was Chinese tea. My practices, and this is a novice classroom, I remind you, 75% of my students were novice, mid, and below. The rest of them were from immersion school, and we dealt with this very differently. We'll talk about that. My product was Chinese tea. My practices included brewing the tea. How do you make it and not look like a fool? How do you drink the tea and not be rude? How do you serve the tea to someone else? And in a Chinese restaurant, how do you ask for more tea? Because what you don't do is go, waiter, bring me some tea. You open the top of the tea slightly, not all the way. Don't take the top off. You open it and leave it open. The waiter sees that, bam, hot water. No talking necessary. Communication is not always verbal, right? And perspective, and the novice level, all we talked about was flavors. And I asked them, do you like sweet stuff? So we talked about, do you like Bojangles sweet tea or Chick-fil-A sweet tea? Flavors, right? And they said Chinese people like bitter stuff. And I said, why? Tea, Chinese medicine. I was like, astute observation for novice, novice mid. So we talked about colors, we talked about flavors, we talked about kinds of beverages, we talked about receptacles, we talked about bottles and cups and what kinds of things do you serve tea in, what do you need to do a tea ceremony? Do you need a knife, for example? They said, no, right? What kinds of Chinese tea are there? And the beautiful thing about most Chinese teas is that the name is just the color. So green tea is green tea. Yellow tea is huang cha, because cha is tea. It's just that simple, right? So it's really not, and we talked about the steps in the Chinese tea ceremony, and they were very simple. Boil the water, pour the water, wait, pour the tea, serve the tea. That's it. It's much more complicated than that, I assure you. But 1, I'm not an expert, and 2, novice, right? And then we're doing things like, I like this, I don't like this, do you like this, right? Novice level stuff, cultural practice. And it was differentiated. Again, I'm going to fly through this. This PowerPoint is available from Startalk, right? With intermediate kids, we talked about geography. Where in China does this tea come from? Why does it grow there? It rains, there's mountains, there's trees, right? With intermediate mid, we also talked about Chinese geography, but what they had to do is I just gave them a map of China, and then I gave them tea labels. They had to tell me what kind of tea it was. They had to tell me where it was made. They had to identify the brand name, right? So it's not just called green tea, it's called Longjing, for example, which is from Hangzhou, China. And they went Longjing, okay, from Hangzhou, which is in blah, blah, blah area of China where it rains and whatever. And it's green tea, and green tea tastes like this, and I like green tea because, right, much higher. So this is the part where I do a time check, and I have it built in because I know myself, and I know I don't do well with time. I have 3 more minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the you do. The you do part was going to be talk to your table mates or find someone who teaches the same language as you, pick a proficiency level, pick a cultural thing, and start to think about what is the language, what's the culture, what's the content. But unfortunately, I have to click on this side. So, feedback. We talked about reflections today. We talked about input. We talked about language teaching, right? The other really big thing is feedback. And I like exit tickets. That's one of my favorite things in the world. So what I'm going to have you do, you will notice in that nifty bag of markers and et cetera, there are also sticky notes. What I would like you to do on 3 sticky notes, you have 橙色, 蓝色, and 黄色. I would like you to tell me because, again, this is the first conference presentation I have ever done in my entire 23 years on this planet. And I have a lot to learn. I have a lot of growing to do, right? And as a teacher, I think that's the attitude you should always have. But I just got started, so it's the one I have. I would like you to tell me one thing that you liked. If you say nothing, that's fair. Like, I feel you. But I hope you at least like that I'm funny. On the 蓝色 sticky note, I would like you to tell me one thing you still have a question about. You're like, Matt, you said you did this. How did you do that? I don't think novices can do that. How did you do that? And on the Huangzi, I would like you to tell me one thing that you learned. I have 2 requests that go with writing things. I tell my novice students, or all of my students this too. If I can't read it, I cannot give you a grade. So if I can't read it, doesn't do me much good, right? I appreciate if you write legibly. And all you're going to do is you're going to take your sticky notes and put them bam, bam, bam. You pick, but like follow the crowd, right? Don't try to be different. I'm going to put the yellow one where the blue ones go. Please don't. But it's fine. I'm going to take them all down anyway. So give me your answers. You have 2 minutes to give me your answers and place them on the appropriate piece of paper. And the last thing that I have to say to you before I let you go is thank you. You have been a wonderful audience, and I'm very grateful that you all came to play with me today. 谢谢. Finally, haha, I tricked you, I fooled you. You thought it was last but not least. Your you don't get off so easy. Your is homework. My job, I work at the National Foreign Language Center, which you might or might not have already known. You'll figure it out tomorrow. But what I would like you to do, if you feel so inclined and you're not done with me yet, is do your thinking. And I will be sitting at the registration desk downstairs on the ballroom level from now until the end of this conference. Come find me. I like people. I like to talk, as you can see. So come hang out with me and tell me I teach Portuguese novices, and I want to show them this thing that I think is great in my culture. I would love it. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate that you came out to hang out with me. Have a wonderful conference. Oh, yes. Yes, there it is. Thank you.